First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Good evening and welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Kennedy Mason.
And I'm Julianna Reichenbach. Thanks for joining us.
Our top story is a tough one to hear. Marion County detectives are investigating 3 recent shootings, all connected to each other.
WFT's Jonathan Acosta has been looking into the case's details today. He now joins us live in the studio.
I've been learning the details from Marion County officials, and it's quite intense. A teenager is recovering in the hospital after she was shot in the head and left near Forest Lakes Park in Marion County on Thursday. A day later, a man was found shot dead on the side of the road, just a 5-minute drive from the first victim. The next day, a woman was found dead in a car that was half sunken in a lake less than 10 miles away from both crime scenes. MCSO Major Crimes Unit is currently investigating these shootings. They released the name of the first victim, 16-year-old Layla Silvernail, who was brought to the hospital in critical condition.
Detectives have said that they believe this is an isolated incident. Please give us a call. Contact Detective Stiff here at the Sheriff's Office and let us know what you have, because ultimately, community that this is in, somebody may have seen something.
WFT will continue its coverage as this ongoing investigation takes place. For now, back to the desk.
Thanks, Jonathan. Governor Ron DeSantis signs the new gun bill into law, which allows carrying concealed weapons without a permit. You could still face a serious charge if not qualified, but you no longer have to pay the state for a background check, minimal training, and a permit. You could get a minor fine if legally carrying and not having photo ID on you when questioned by police. More from our state capital. It's likely Governor DeSantis will eventually be sent a bill to lower Florida's limit on abortion from 15 weeks to 6 weeks. The full House will take up its version after the full Senate debated its bill today.
I ask that we take a 10-minute recess until we can clear the gallery. This is unacceptable in the Senate chamber. So, members, we're going to take a 10-minute recess. That's my motion, Madam President.
The Senate president had to clear the gallery during debate on the bill. Visitors were repeatedly heckling senators speaking in support of the change. If the 6 weeks bill becomes law, it can't take effect unless the Florida Supreme Court rules that abortion is not covered under the state constitution's right to privacy. And there will likely be fresh legal challenges too.
At least 32 people are dead as brutal storms move across the U.S. President Joe Biden is pledging help from the federal government, while forecasters are warning the severe weather isn't over yet. Dangerous weather continues moving across the U.S., leaving behind a trail of destruction and death. This video shows hail falling near Dallas. Today, that storm system pushing through Louisiana. At least 5 people are dead after a twister hit Arkansas over the weekend. Just across the state line, Tennessee reports at least 15 deaths, with 1 in Alabama and another in Mississippi. Up north, Illinois, Indiana, and Delaware communities are reeling from severe weather and a number of fatalities. Now, a snowstorm is moving across northern states, and it could bring a spring blizzard to South Dakota. Kennedy, it's so tough seeing this terrible damage.
It really is. We'll keep all of those affected in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully we can look to some brighter heads a day.
Hopefully. WFT's Daniella Rudolph joins us now with the weather forecast. What kind of weather can we expect in the north central Florida region, Daniella?
Thanks, ladies. It really is terrible to see these things happening in the world of weather, and honestly, all of our hearts go out to those communities affected. But before we begin our forecast here in North Central Florida, I just want to take a moment to stress again how important it is to stay up to date with those emergency management details and those pings that come through on your phone, because it can help you prepare well in advance to have that plan ready for severe cases of weather like we've been seeing over the past few weeks. So coming a little more local, luckily we can breathe a breath of fresh air here because we are in the clear for severe weather. Taking a look at our campus cam right now, 84, those clouds are a little cloudy, but that just means we're going to be having some fog coming in throughout the evening. Let's take a look at our temperatures right now. Not really any temperature change up from yesterday at the same time. We do have a big announcement coming later on in the show, so do stay with me to see what's happening in the world of weather. But across the board, between those 5 to 7 degree changes across the board temperature wise, taking a look at that fog that is coming this evening. So if you are traveling, heading out on the town, because it is going to be a lovely evening, take a look at what you can expect tomorrow morning. 63 starting out here in Gainesville with that overhead fog. If you are heading out tonight, let's see what you can expect on the town. Starting at 84, only dropping to 72. It's going to be lovely, but stay with us. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Daniella. Former President Trump is preparing to appear in a New York courtroom Tuesday to face criminal charges in connection to a hush money payment made before the 2016 election.
That's right, and today he was seen traveling from his estate in Mar-a-Lago to the Big Apple. NBC's Jay Gray is in Lower Manhattan with the latest.
Former President Donald Trump making the trip from Mar-a-Lago to Manhattan a day ahead of history. Tomorrow afternoon, the 45th President of the United States expected to become the first to sit in the Oval Office, then stand before a judge facing criminal charges.
We don't know what's in the indictment yet, but yeah, it's pretty surreal, to be honest.
The indictment will remain sealed until after his arraignment, but sources tell NBC News the former president will face more than 30 charges in the case involving hush money paid to former adult star Stormy Daniels just ahead of the 2016 election to cover up an alleged affair. The Trump legal team says he will plead not guilty.
The team will look at every potential issue that we will be able to challenge, and we will challenge it.
Security will certainly be a challenge. There are no credible threats, according to police. Still, New York's mayor has this warning for potential protesters.
While there may be some rabble-rousers thinking about coming to our city tomorrow, our message is clear and simple. Control yourselves. New York City is our home, not a playground for your misplaced anger.
The entire NYPD force, 35,000 officers, is on alert. The FBI also on the ground, and the Secret Service will be with the former president at all times. Jay Gray, NBC News, New York.
Elections are underway in a couple of local areas. If you're in Lake Butler or Levy County, here's what you need to know. Tomorrow in Levy County, 7 jurisdictions will host municipal elections, including Cedar Key, Chiefland, and Williston. The city of Lake Butler will also host a municipal election. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in both counties.
UF professors are dismissed from court after a federal judge ordered the dismissal of their, quote, mute case. The lawsuit in question challenged a controversial conflict of interest policy. It lets UF administrators decide whether faculty members can serve as expert witnesses in legal matters. It was originally filed after university officials denied professors' requests to serve as witnesses for groups fighting a 2021 state elections law in court. But a court document says the university made a revised policy in October that addressed the professors' concerns. The university has appealed the injunction to the Atlanta-based appeals court. Chief U.S. District Judge Mark Walker dismissed the case because the conflict has been fixed.
This weekend marks the 29th year of Dance Marathon at the University of Florida.
It sure did. Our very own Isabella Leandri attended the entire 26.2-hour main event. Isabella, how are you doing after being awake for so long, and how was the event?
Yes, I'm finally catching up on some sleep, but it was such a fun weekend getting to attend the main event after fundraising all year long for Dance Marathon. University of Florida students gathered in the Stephen C. O'Connell Center this weekend for Dance Marathon at UF. The students were challenged to stay awake and stand for 26.2 hours to raise funds and awareness for the patients at UF Shands Children's Hospital and Children's Miracle Network. Dancers were entertained the entire event with performances from local bands, a rave, line dances, and even a silent disco. Dancers got to hit the gong and celebrate for every donation they received. Miracle families who have been impacted by childhood illness also attended and shared their stories. The organization was able to raise just over $2 million.
Isabella, did you get to hear from the families? Because I know that's one of the coolest parts.
Yes, we did. We actually did get to hear quite a few families speak and tell their stories, and it's so amazing to hear how our efforts and all of our fundraising really does affect them firsthand.
You mentioned the efforts and how much you've put in throughout the year. What was it like, favorite moment of that whole night?
Well, there were so many amazing moments. My favorite was definitely getting to do the line dance on stage and see all of the people there, everyone doing the dance together, and really see the impact we are making.
Amazing.
It's incredible. Well, those dancers weren't the only ones up late this weekend. Last night around 11:30, Islam on campus gathered to advertise for their annual charity gala, Fastathon.
Fastathon is coming up this Thursday during a very special time in the Islamic calendar. Avery Lotz caught up with IOC to find out how the group is preparing.
So last night around 11:30, when some of us, I know I was, were already tucked away in our beds, the community of Islam on campus here at the University of Florida gathered at the 34th Street Wall to advertise their annual event, Fastathon. This fundraising event celebrates community, culture, faith, and philanthropy. But this year is pretty special. The event actually coincides with Ramadan.
Every year, the students of Islam on campus gather at the wall to promote Fastathon, equipped with spray paint and smiles. Fastathon, which is scheduled for this Thursday evening in the Stephen O'Connell Center, feeds stomachs and minds. Guests are given a full-course meal and the opportunity to learn more about fasting and the Muslim faith as a whole. The event also supports Helping Hand for Relief and Development. Yusuf Ahmad, a senior computer science student, has been involved with Islam on campus since his freshman year. He says Ramadan is the ultimate moment of Muslim unity.
And I've realized, with Fastathon happening during Ramadan, we're all also united for the event itself. We're all just helping each other out, with raising money, painting the wall right here, just doing everything together. So that's what makes it so special to me.
Painting the wall is not the only way they're raising awareness. Today, the group gave over 200 free frozen treats to passersby in Turlington Hall, welcoming all to attend Fastathon.
Islam on campus welcomes everybody to come out this Thursday at 5:30 in the Stephen O'Connell Center for some free food for Fastathon. It's going to be a great time, everybody. Come on out. Avery Lotz, WUFT News. Ramadan Kareem! Back to y'all at the desk.
Wow, I hope I can make time for that. I'm always up for free food.
Oh, same here, Kennedy. And you can get the best food here on Earth, which is something 4 humans might be missing as they aboard Artemis's 2 crew.
Coming up on WUFT News, first at 5. That plus weather and sports a little later in the show. Stay with us. You're watching First at 5.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Today is a very big day for NASA as it announces 4 superstars. These superstars are the astronauts selected for Artemis's first crewed mission, which is especially special because this is the first time humans have returned to the moon since Apollo in 1972.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis II crew.
NASA and the Canadian Space Agency announced the 4 astronauts who will venture around the moon on the Artemis II mission. The loop around could be so big that it could end up being the farthest distance that any human has ever traveled. The mission includes 3 Americans and 1 Canadian. They will orbit the moon on a 10-day mission in late 2024, setting the stage for an Artemis III mission to land on the moon.
And the Alachua Habitat for Humanity's home ownership program provides families the opportunity to become homeowners for those who may not qualify otherwise. I had the opportunity to visit their 173rd newly constructed home this weekend. A house to a home. Family, friends, board of directors, and sponsors all came together to celebrate the completion of Gloria Lewis's new place.
And I'm so blessed and thankful for my family, and I'm so thankful that they had traveled so far, made sure that they were able to hear and see and witness this journey.
Lewis, her daughter Kaylia, and her son Quentin moved from Tallahassee to Gainesville 5 years ago when Kaylia was diagnosed with lupus.
It just made kind of more sense for us to stay in Gainesville, only because of all of her lupus doctors were here.
They stayed with Lewis's aunt.
We lived in her house in a small little TV room.
But during COVID, she saw an Alachua Habitat for Humanity post and she decided to apply. The process of getting her home wasn't short.
Maybe a year, 2 years, just going from the process of applying for Habitat and then also doing home ownership workshops.
Habitat homeowners have to commit 200 hours of sweat equity. This consists of working on their home, working on other Habitat homes, and attending classes.
How to take a mortgage, how to take care of her house, how to fix repairs so she doesn't have to call a repairman, and things like that, even how to be a great neighbor.
Right now, they are building 12 homes a year. Board of Director Ben Phillips says they hope to get up to at least 20 homes a year, but this still isn't enough.
We can build 400 homes today, and it's not going to be enough to solve the problem of affordable housing.
But Lewis is one of those lucky people who did receive a home. And her first priority when she gets in her home? To cook.
We are actually going to cook.
Yeah, Gloria is a teacher at Westwood Middle School, so some of the staff and the students were there, and also Mayor Harvey Ward was there as well. It was so great to see Gloria and her kids so ecstatic about their new home.
Kids have such an impact on them from teachers, so to see them, the teacher get rewarded, I love to see that. So amazing story, Kennedy. And as I mentioned, the NASA people have been working to break some records.
Yeah, absolutely, that's right. Looks like to be on some trend. Daniella, tell us, how's it looking?
Exactly, ladies, both of you are correct. So NASA has been breaking records, but Gainesville doesn't plan on breaking 1 or 2 records this week, but 4. Stay with me to see our jam-packed weather forecast coming up after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
So we are breaking records here in Gainesville. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of weather. That record breaking, I'm personally very excited for, but it is going to be those temperatures up in the 90s. So if you do love the summertime, even though we're still in that spring season, we are having that summertime feel. However, with this very hot weather comes a few things that you do really need to keep in mind. If you are enjoying the beautiful weather, please stay hydrated and please take a break from being in the sun, because those temperatures are going to be very high. It's going to be very hot and the sun is going to be very warm. So please do look after yourselves. We've been seeing across the board the severe weather happening across the nation. So please do protect yourself and look after those that you love. Let's take a look at those temperatures across the board. We are warm relatively across the entire board, but looking at the Sunshine State, again, we're known for our beautiful temperatures, that sunshine, and this week is really going to amplify. Let's take a look at those records that we're breaking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Look at that, all the way up to 93, dropping slightly off into the weekend, a little cooler, but when I say cooler, I mean in those high to low 80s. We will be having a slight chance of thunder showers across the weekend, but that's not really anything to worry about at this point. Enjoy those beautiful temperatures across the week. So now, as I said, we have been seeing that severe weather across the nation. Let's take a look at something that's very important to understand when it comes to severe weather. So you should definitely keep up to date with your emergency managers, the pings that come on your phone, on your radios, those things that can help you to have a good plan in place to stay safe. So let's take a look at the example of a tornado, what we've been seeing through the week. A tornado watch is meaning these conditions are favorable, they are possible. This is where we stay weather aware. However, when there's a tornado warning, this means that the tornado has formed, the danger is imminent, and the time to seek shelter and act is right now. So please do keep a lookout for those to keep yourselves and those that you love safe. But coming a little more back to North Central Florida, a little more local, we do have a chance of some thunder showers across the I-10 corridor for the remainder of this evening going into tomorrow. But taking a look at something a little more in depth when we come to those is the storm tracker that is happening right now. You can see that these 2 cities are the ones that in the next few minutes are going to be seeing some of that precipitation. So again, please keep up to date with what is happening on your phone, on your news station, and with your emergency county manager. Taking a look again a little more local, the severe risks that we have for this evening. Our primary hazards are damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, and large hails in these areas that are green. So please do take a look at yourselves, at those apps, and keep yourselves and your loved ones safe. Thank you, ladies, and back to you.
Thanks, Daniella. Kennedy, I heard you were pretty busy this weekend.
Yes, I had the opportunity to sing the national anthem at the Gators baseball game.
Kennedy, you didn't just sing it, you rocked it. Listen to this. A powerful anthem that energized the team and could have helped will them to victory. A big comeback win for the Gators as they keep their hot season going. We look at gymnastics, lacrosse, and get you ready for the men's basketball championship tonight. All that next on Sports.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
I'm Will Levenson. Here's what's sporting in sports. Gators gymnastics is headed to the NCAA championships in Fort Worth, Texas this week. Oh my, what a season it's been for these Gators. 24-3 overall record, the second-ranked team in the nation. These Gator gymnasts have impressed us all season long, but now it's time to chase a title. Unfortunately for Florida, the road might be a bit tougher than expected. Superstar Trinity Thomas suffered a lower body injury on her floor routine at regionals this weekend. She's listed as day-to-day. Fellow senior Peyton Richards knows that even without Thomas in the lineup, the Gators are still a force to be reckoned with.
There was just never a doubt in my mind that we couldn't be successful today without her, and she honestly has instilled that into us. She lifts us up, she cares for us. She's one of the best human beings ever.
The 41st NCAA Gymnastics Championships begin this Thursday as 8 teams compete for a title. What an atmosphere it was at Condren Ballpark as WUFT's Kennedy Mason rocked the house with the national anthem. Kennedy certainly helped energize the Gators to a 3-0 start in the first inning. But Florida quickly saw its lead evaporate, finding itself down 8-3 in the 5th. Down but not out. Oh, that's when the bats got cracking, and boy did they ever. 14, that's right, 14 unanswered runs by Florida en route to a 17-8 trouncing of Auburn to clinch the series. The third-ranked Gators are 24-5 on the year and 3-0 in conference series. Bethune-Cookman's on deck Tuesday before a big road series with Tennessee this Thursday. Gators lacrosse is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. They've won 6 of their last 7, including a 17-13 dub over 23rd ranked Penn on Saturday. Junior Ashley Gonzalez dished out a program record 7 assists as sophomore Emma Lopinto led the way with 4 goals. It's Lopinto's 5th time scoring 4 goals this season. She put 30 in the back of the net this year. The win makes the 5th-ranked Gators 8-3 on this season. 1 week after beating a team from Philadelphia, they'll travel to Philly this time to face Temple on Saturday.